Today we are going to talk about the new foil drive Fusion. Let's go. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Gwen and today we are going to talk about the foil drive Fusion. I've spent a lot of time on the Fusion lately. I've pretty much exclusively been riding the new Fusion, where really technically it's not a replacement of the other foil drive version that you can find. I used to ride more of like the Assist Max with the HP battery, but just for the purpose of really putting the Fusion to the test, I totally replaced that and I've been riding the Fusion exclusively, whether it's on flat water, whether it's with my dog, or whether it's on waves. So really, putting it to the test on every aspect that you can use it. And first I would say, just overall on the foil drive, the versatility of it makes it incredible. It's also an amazing teaching tool to progress your foiling. It's going to give you more time on the water, and the fact that you can put any bird. So this is the bird that also used for prawn, that also used for winging or throwing when it's windy enough. Same with the foil. It's a foil you can use for anything else. You already have the quiver, so to be able to mount your foil assist on a quiver you already have, to me that's a massive benefit. And it's not necessarily skill level related. You can have a great skill level and have so much fun on the foil drive, taking it in waves in places that maybe are like harder to access the waves, so you can go there downwinding. Or if you have a less of a skill level and you are really trying to progress your foiling, your pumping, you want to spend time on flat water, it's gonna replace your towing body. Now you are self-sufficient, you can get out there and work on your foiling. A few different ways that personally I think the foil drive is amazing is here we are in Florida. It's amazing, it's nice and warm, but there are some sharks. So honestly, when I go on the ocean and I'm gonna ride waves, I would much rather be on the foil drive and not have my feet in the water waiting for the wave to paddle into it. So for the sharks, I really like that. It gets me above the water. I'm not a shark bait as much. And the other benefit is, like, if you live in a cold place, you are out of the water most of the time. So now you can go for your session and you're not going to be as cold, because you are just like I was saying, if you sit on your board for a long time but the water is really cold, you don't feel your feet, you take off on the wave and now you feel like you are like riding on your ankles because you don't even feel your feet anymore. With that, you don't spend much time sitting in the water, 100% riding time, and if you have a busy schedule, you want to catch as many waves as possible, the foil drive is going to allow you to do that. But let's move on to specifically the Fusion, because that's what we're going to talk about today. The Fusion is essentially going to give you more power, more runtime at the expense of weight. But personally, I've been riding the HP battery a lot. What is the weight difference? It's about 4 to 5 pounds. Do I really feel it? Not that much. And especially with where the weight is positioned right at the base of your mast, it's not something that you're really gonna feel as much. So to me, getting more runtime and more power has been incredibly beneficial. To give you an idea, when I first got it, I went on flat water and stayed powered the entire time to see how long it would last. And I got to 1 hour and 10 minutes on 1100 foil. And what's interesting is it's not necessarily depending on my weight, because I had someone testing it heavier than me, got pretty much the same runtime, and they were just on a bit of a bigger foil. So it's not necessarily weight related. If you are heavier than me, it doesn't mean you're gonna get less runtime. I would say it's pretty equal. And then I took it in waves, and again, for the purpose of the test, I didn't really pump back out. I was just always powered on the way out, riding waves on the way in. It was really small, tiny waves. It was barely breaking. So there was some period of times where I didn't have a set and I was kind of like circling around. And I got 2-hour runtime. So that's pretty incredible. That pretty much means, from like 1 hour and 10 minutes on flat, 2 hours, I pretty much rode waves for 15 minutes. I was on riding waves for 15 minutes. 50 minutes, that's pretty incredible runtime if you think of like how much time you spend riding waves. So for me, the added runtime is amazing, and the weight gain is not so much of a downside that I felt, I would say. The Foil Drive Fusion also comes with a new remote with a brighter screen, more information. I really love that new remote. A bit of a guard that you can remove if you want it, so you don't bump the trigger. And you see your battery level. Something that I actually really love about the battery level is it's a true reading, where even when you are powered, you get a true reading. That's something that we didn't really have before, where when you were powered, it was kind of always showing less, and then you would pop up, and then it would show you more because you were not powering the battery. Here you have a consistent reading, and running it from 100% to 0%, what I notice is even when you get close to 1%, 2%, 0% even, I could even take off still. So that's pretty incredible. We saw Josh Koo doing a downwinder using his foil drive to go upwind, powered the entire time. He ran it down to 3% because he knew even within 3% on the way down, if he had to do a few takeoffs, he would have plenty of power to take off. So you have full running, full takeoff power from 100 to 0%. A feature that I really love is the tilt lock, which means when your bird is not in a riding position, it's going to lock it up, so you won't be able to power it up. So when you are on the beach, obviously this is not a riding position, it senses that and it's not going to let you power it up. If you fall, your bird shoots up, goes on the side, too much roll, it's going to shut it off. You can adjust the sensitivity if you are into, I don't know, doing backflips and you don't want it to shut off, you could, but if you are a beginner, you can increase the sensitivity of your tilt lock, and it's gonna really make it safer for you. All we would have to do is, as soon as we are into a riding position, it's gonna power it up. The other feature that I really love is the gear feature, which is gonna allow you to pull your trigger fully and have a certain level of power. So you can set it up, you have 5 levels, and you can go level 1 to 60%, level 2 to 65%, and so on. So you know, if you are a bit of a beginner and you know, I want to start easy, I go to level 1, and it's not gonna, I can go fully. You don't have to be like adjusting your power, and it's gonna be much easier. You can fully focus on your riding, not so much on where your trigger is. The downside of the gear mode is when you go from 1 to 2, it's gonna go directly from 1 to 2. So let's say your gear 1 is set at 60%, and let's say your gear 2 is set at 70%. When you move from 1 to 2, it's gonna go from 60 to 70, and that's a bit of an abrupt difference. So that's why I prefer to have my levels, my gear set not too far apart, about 5% battery power level. So I put my level 1 at 60. Let's actually see. When we press plus and minus, we go into the menu, so pretty easy. Pair throttle mode. So gear, perfect, that's good. And then we go to throttle mapping. And then yes, my level 1 is at 60%, level 2 65, 70, 75, and actually level 5 is 100. Just in case I need full power, I go from 75 usually is plenty for me. But let's say something happens, I need full power, I need to get out of something, I go to 5 and I have full power when needed. The remote also shows you as you ride, it's going to show you, of course, your battery level. It's also going to show you your run time, your session time. It's going to show you your speed and your distance. So that's a pretty cool feature to have. Your top speed, water temps, how many watts, motor RPM. You have plenty of information on there. Not that you're going to be riding and looking at it as much, but it's a pretty cool way to have information on the ride. I've also set up into the Efoil mode, so you just get a long cable. That's a perfect way to learn instead of having your prop high and have a bit more of that sensitivity. You need a bit more control. The prop high is how you're gonna want it to ride waves, for sure. That's how you're gonna want it to pump. But when you first get it, all you need, if you want it in Efoil mode, you could get the long cable, and that's it. You have your Efoil mode with plenty of runtime. If you really want to take it to the next level in terms of efficiency, which I don't have, you would get a trench burn and you would get integrated mast. If you get those two and the Fusion, your runtime is going to go through the roof. My test was with this setup, so it's not necessarily the most efficient, because you still get some drag from the unit here and from just kind of like having that cable in the back. So if you get your integrated mast, now you are really going to the next level with your foil drive. So that brings us to, who is the foil drive Fusion for? Well, in my opinion, it's pretty much for everybody. I would say it's not necessarily linked to a skill level. This is not a beginner setup. I've been having so much fun on it. It's really for someone that wants more runtime, that needs more range. If you want to do a downwinder and you want to cruise upwind, if you want to ride a wave on the outside and you're gonna have like quite a way to go before you get there. If you want a setup that you can easily turn into an Efoil and have your friend cruise around, it's just so versatile. So in my opinion, it's worth the weight gain. The weight gain is so minimal, and the benefit of those features is pretty incredible. So that's it for me. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something. If you've had some time on the foil drive Fusion, I would love to hear from you. For everybody, drop your comment. It's always good to not just hear from me, but hear from you guys, your experience. And that's it. Go out there, have fun. This is gonna give you more runtime, more fun. That's what it's all about. See you guys next time.